So where are we now? In 2022, July. The COVID restrictions in Portugal have gone, apart from you have to wear a mask in the taxi or public transport. Don't think everyone's doing that either. And back in the UK, you can kind of do more or less what you want. But there's rumours in the air of restrictions coming back in the autumn. New campaigns for people getting injections and wearing face cover coverings. And it's all on the back of higher rates, higher estimated rates, because they have to be estimated because we don't do testing anymore, not mass testing. And the tests you have to pay for, no free tests anymore. But estimated rates have been rising, and there's concern, despite the fact that these variants are causing flu-like symptoms, not much else, that we're going to have to get used to the government shutting us down again. Now this is against a backdrop in 2022, summer 2022, where inflation, official inflation, is running at 9.1%. Real inflation estimated to be double figures, substantially double figures now. Fuel and energy prices gone through the roof, and there's more fuel increases planned for the autumn, October. So against the backdrop, and apparently 1 million companies, 1 million small businesses have either gone in the UK or are in real trouble. And yet we have government ministers, not so much government ministers to be fair, but government representatives in the Commons and the Lords making noises about further restrictions in the autumn, which will surely kill the economy, stone dead, and with it all the funds needed to provide public services. So we are absolutely led by donkeys who can't see both sides of the cost-benefit equation. And all we can do is grab a bit of sunshine if we can, when we can. I was talking with some friends not too long ago, and we were talking about the lockdowns and so on, and I was making the rather glib assertion that all our institutions, our courts, our health service, our education, our transport, and everything else had been seen to fail as a result of the lockdown. And I had friends pushing back and saying, well, in order to kind of make sense of it, the most obvious reason for it is government incompetence. But you've got to ask a question when, in the face of such overwhelming evidence from around the globe about the ineffectiveness of lockdowns, is why governments have persisted, or are still persisting, to talk about them as possibilities. Those are boats there off to sea or coming back from seeing the caves. Hopefully you'll be on one of those tomorrow. To me, one of the most compelling arguments against government incompetence is the fact that, bar a few governments, a real handful, and a couple of notable states in America, everyone's been in lockstep, doing the same things, the same prescription to try and wrestle control against an out of control pandemic. That doesn't make sense to me. Well, during the lockdown in 2020, I made some videos about my lockdown experience and that of my family, and talking about friends as well. And it was perplexing then, and it remains perplexing now. So what has it done to me psychologically? Let me explain. I think I just got tired. I've said many times before that I was following all of the news reporting and the commentary and the science and listening to everything, watching everything that I possibly could to try and get an understanding of why everyone was doing more or less the same. Same responses to the pandemic, and of course groupthink, and you know, you hear about all those reasons and incompetences I've already mentioned. But it's got to a point where the madness, the nonsense is continued. Now we've got evidence of the safety and the efficacy of these injections, and the demographics who are most vulnerable, most likely to be impacted. And you would think by now that those in authority would have cottoned on to the fact that, and it is a fact, that the average age of those succumbing, not even from but with this illness, is 83 now in the UK. So after a while it wears you down, and you kind of hope that people are going to wake up and start asking questions as to say, why are they pushing for number 3, number 4, number 5, lockdown number 3, mask wearing mandate number whatever. And you look around and it's like people are oblivious, and they've just got on with their lives the way it was before 2020. And you got to ask the question, are they the fools or am I the fool? Because, you know, all this carpe diem business, live for the day, seize the day, it's really all about living for the moment, isn't it? And why would you want to get anxious about something that might affect you a little bit, inflation for example in 2022, but affect you dramatically in say 5 years time? Why not, you know, worry about today and not tomorrow? So there's a fair question to be asked as to who's the fool. But we all just try and cope with it our own way, don't we? So my way is, as I've said before, is to try and learn as much as I possibly can to weigh up the arguments for and against any particular position, and try and calculate what would be the best route for me to maneuver my way through the complexities. That's just my way. It's not everybody's way. And even though people have seemingly kind of forgotten, I can't let it go. And you know, you got to wonder about my own well-being. One of the saddest things of the last couple of years, and one of the things that's kind of, you know, put a burden on me really in the last few months, is the growing acceptance that critical thinking skills are just not as common as you'd like them to be. And that's not to say, by the way, that I think people should or shouldn't do whatever they want to do. I mean, that's up to them. I'm perfectly comfortable with independent adults with applying their own critical faculties, however good they may be. Let them make their own decisions. That's absolutely cool by me. But to pour derision on those that think differently, or even worse, compel others to do things that they are uncomfortable with or uncertain about, it simply doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If you stand back, if you go way back and look at our society, and if you think the sort of people who would, including people in leadership, who would compel people to undertake procedures that they didn't think that the recipients were uncertain about, you're effectively saying that accepting the notion that you're dealing with a population that is a lot more childlike and unsophisticated than you would like in a Western educated society. So people can judge me for any way they like. All I'm asking for is for people to be open that not everybody agrees with them, that they have to respect that other people make their own decisions, that people ask questions. The more people that ask questions, the better in my book, and let people come to their own conclusions. But here we are, July 2022, with a continuing period of uncertainty. Not so much at the forefront, as I've suggested, the dreaded pandemic, but now great uncertainties about the economy, about energy, about fuel, about a war for one reason or another happens to be the greatest priority of our country's leadership right now. A war that involves two nations that are not in NATO, and both of which rank extraordinarily highly on the countries with the greatest degree of corruption in their society. Why we collectively want to die on that hill is beyond me. Someone's going to tell me that the guy leading Russia is a bad man, as if I didn't know.